scientist must be curious about the world, like Galileo. Galileo's curiosity about the heavenly bodies made him the first person to use a telescope to study the moon, the sun, the planets, and the stars.
A scientist should think and work in a logical and a systematic way. For example, Mendel discovered the principle of heredity when others were failed because of his logical experimental methods and his careful, accurate record keeping.
Good.
Yes?
He needs to be open-minded and free of bias.
What means by open-minded?
An open-minded person is one who can modify plans or discard hypotheses if necessary.
Well, what's next? Yes?
A scientist needs to work persistently. For example, Marie Curie was the first person ever to be awarded the Nobel Prize twice. It's not surprising. It's considering how hard she worked.
Yes?
A scientist must be able to suspend judgment until he is sure of his results. He should not jump to conclusions but should use experimental evidence to support any theory.
Yes?
To be a scientist, one must be creative and critical thinker. For example, Albert Einstein was able to derive his theory of relativity because he went beyond what was given and known at that time. He saw link and connection where others did not. He looked at things from different perspectives. A scientist tries new approaches to arrive at solutions.
Good. Have you searched about some inventions? Sorry. Can anybody summarize it?
Yes, ma'am. I have made a summary. A scientist must have an open mind and be curious. It is fine to have an idea about how or why something is the way it is, but the scientist should then seek to prove or disprove this hypothesis and should be willing to change their ideas depending on the results of the experiments, rather than to continue believing in the original idea. A scientist should be keen observer, creative, patient, curious, humble, intellectual, honest, objective, rational, aware of limitations of science, preserving and open-minded.
Interesting. Good. Anybody? Have you searched about some inventions which took places accidentally? Yes?
Invention of the microwave oven is an interesting accidental event. The engineer Percy Spencer was conducting a radar-related research project with a new vacuum tube. Spencer realized that the candy bar in his pocket began to melt during his experiments. He then put popcorn into the machine, and when it started to pop, he knew he had a revolutionary device on his hands.
Nice. Yes?
I want to say something about the invention of pacemaker. Great Batch intended to create a machine to mend a broken heart while building an oscillator to record heart sound in animals at Cornell University in 1958. He accidentally grabbed a round transistor and installed it in his device. Realizing his mistake, he was still curious to see what would happen. Not expecting the oscillator to work, he switched it on and heard a familiar rhythmic pulsing sound, a pattern remarkably similar to a heart. By chance, his invention, known as the pacemaker, was ideal for pulsating signals to the heart. He tested his new creation on animals and fine-tuned the device before implanting it into a human in 1960. In recent years, Great Batch has been lauded for his achievement, even if he discovered his solution by chance.
Good. Yes?
Alexander Fleming didn't clean up his workstation before going on vacation one day in 1928. When he came back, Fleming noticed that there was a strange fungus on some of his sculptures. Even stranger was bacteria didn't seem to thrive near those sculptures. Penicillin became the first and is still one of the most widely used antibiotics.
I want to tell about saccharine. Fairbug was investigating the oxidation of oat toluene sulfonamide. He forgot to wash his hands. He had spilled chemical on his hands in the lab that caused his bread to taste very sweet. The researchers immediately requested a patent and mass product produced by his.
I have searched about fireworks. An unknown cook in China was simply experimenting in the kitchen. He accidentally mixed together charcoal, sulfur and saltpeter. When the mixture was compressed in a bamboo tube, it exploded. Why the cook did that, we have no idea.
I would like to share a story about invention of cornflakes. The Kellogg brothers, John and Will, were trying to make a pot of boiled grain. The brothers accidentally left a pot of boiled grain on the stove for several days. The mixture turned moldy, but the product that emerged was dry and thick. Through experimentation, they eliminated the mold part and created cornflakes.
Good.
I can give the information about invention of inkjet printer. A Canon company's engineer kept his hot iron on his pen by accident. Ink was ejected from the pen's point a few moments later. The incident led to creation of the inkjet printer.
Good. It's nice to have such interactive class. Well done, students. Keep it up.